Welcome to the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast. Tonight's guests, Katie Robinette and Dan Brenner. And now, your hosts, Daniel Kime and Alan McCutcheon.
Hello and welcome to the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel.
And I'm your co-host, Alan.
Tonight we have Katie Robinette and Dan Brenner.
Welcome, guys. Yeah, cue the cheering sound bite that we have that's going to go in there.
Yeah,
confetti, it's going to zoom in. I don't know if we have that in the budget, but I'm going to make you guys feel good by saying it.
Awesome.
We feel it. We
have AI. We can make it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having
us.
Of course. So I guess there's a lot to talk about between the two of you.
Brandon gives quite an extensive description.
Yeah.
On you guys.
My apologies.
It's okay. Honestly, it's an interesting read. I mean, I'll be honest.
Oh, you didn't remember all of it by heart?
I'm actually terrible at doing that.
I guess, huh?
Because it's almost like there's two run-on paragraphs for Dan. Thank you, Brandon. I mean, genuinely for the information, but there's a lot there. I can't remember all that. But no, I mean, you guys definitely have a lot of accomplishments between the two of you. But we actually didn't know this until you guys got here. You guys actually know each other as well.
Yes, we do.
So how did you guys meet? How did all of this start?
Well, I will start. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, but I was kind of planning my trip back home.
Okay.
I was anticipating my next musical adventure, and I don't recall whether this was on MySpace or on AOL Instant Messenger, but I had found you.
Wasn't it the musician's PA musician? Wasn't
Maybe
there an ad in there?
there might have been an ad.
And I don't know if I placed it or if you placed it.
I don't know, but we did end up connecting. We ended up conversing through one of those platforms. I think it was probably MySpace at the time.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned to Dan that, hey, I'm coming back to Central PA. I'm interested in songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big thing at the time, is that I wanted to get into some songwriting. Let's team up and write some original music. And so we were conversing for a few months.
Yeah.
It's been a really long time ago, so I'm trying to recall.
Oh, it's okay, yeah.
But I did end up moving back. We ended up getting together, started writing new songs. We ended up assembling a band. And then we ended up starting like a really awesome cover band.
Yeah.
Called Sugar Me Sweet. And we were...
I love that name, by the way. Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue so well.
We even had a shot named after it.
We did. We had a shot
at the old Harp and Fiddle in York. They created a Sugar Me Sweet shot that we like.
Do you remember what goes into it?
I remember it was delicious, but I remember that night. I think I remember most of that night. But they lined up a bunch of different for us to try, and we were like, that's the one.
Yeah. So you guys actually get to choose which one was it. I was like, oh man, I was about to make the jokes. Like, that'd have been so funny if, like, with the name like Sugar Me Sweet, they did like an oxymoronic take on it.
Salty thing.
Yeah, and they made it like a cement mixer type like shot, and you're like, it's terrible. Like,
no.
But no, that's awesome. Okay.
That's an accomplishment I haven't heard before. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
It was at the time where people still were going out to bars. The bar would be packed every time we were there.
The night before Thanksgiving.
Oh.
The number one drinking night of the year.
Elbow to elbow, you couldn't move. It was the best place to be was in the band because you at least had the equipment there kind of giving you some space.
Oh, that makes sense.
Everybody else like couldn't breathe. It was
Not even that night though. We would at least 2 months out of the month of any month we would pack the place. And
that's awesome.
And I never paid it for a drink in there. Like those like we were almost like the
we were
they treated us like
band.
they were
I was
like
the house
for a
band.
while. So you'd walk in and like there'd be a Smittix sitting on the counter waiting for you.
Yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
That's
really
cool. That's quite an accomplishment.
I miss that place.
Yeah.
I do too. I do.
Yeah.
Man. So after the cover band, you've both gone into education now at this point, correct?
Well,
I'm sorry, not you. You, but you're still within the music realm.
I am in the music realm.
Okay.
But not education. This is the education man.
The education man. Okay. So what are you doing now into education?
It's a long story. It's a big long story, right?
I mean, you are the Educator of Note winner for this year's ceremony.
I am.
We're not. Wait, are we supposed to announce that yet?
Yes, it's been announced.
That part I did know. That part I did know.
All right. I was like, how does this supposed to
Guys, I'm not Spider-Man where I can't keep a secret, all right, and they have to keep the notes from me. I knew I was allowed to say that one. So just look at this as like a practice for your speech. Tell us about your education endeavors.
Wow, that's really long. Basically, for me, I got into education because I really liked working with music and I really liked working with young people. And but I always felt kind of like the black sheep. You think about a traditional ensemble that you would see in a school, so like a band, an orchestra, a choir. Okay. I participated in band and choir when I was in school, but I also played in my dad's band on the weekends. And at that time, like, you didn't talk about that with those people. That was like a no-no. That was we don't want to know about that. That's not legit music.
100%.
And so one of the things that when I first got my job at Spring Grove, I remember being in a department meeting where I was like, they were looking for new ideas. And I said, well, have we ever thought about having like a school-sanctioned rock ensemble, a rock band, something like that? And I'll never forget, I thought so too.
School rock, like in real life.
But I'll never forget one of the older teachers who had been around for a while looked over at me and just politely said, you know, it might be better if you just do what they pay you to do. And I was like, oh, okay. But then like 15 years later, it starts to kind of become a thing where it's popping up in like Las Vegas, Los Angeles, New York, and had a bunch of people who were kind of proud of me, like, hey man, you play all these instruments and like that could be really good for our program. And the next thing you know, like 6 years ago, we started a modern band program, which is rock band in school. And I can take someone who's never played an instrument before, and by the time they're done with my level 1 class, I would call them functional. They can at least hang. They start to put bands together, and then by the time they're through level 2, they're playing on a modern band concert, which has been really, really fun to see.
That is awesome.
And what's super cool is I don't tell them what to play. I don't pick the instrument, and I don't tell them what songs to play. Like, they tell me where they want to go, and then I act like a producer. I help get them there.
That's the exact opposite. Like when I was a kid, like I was in orchestra and everything, but like I was told like you're gonna play the violin, and I was like I didn't even really want to pick that. And then like, oh, and by the way, you're gonna be first string, and I was like, okay. I knew enough at the time too. I was like, you just gave me a violin. Right. Why are you making me first string violin? And I was like, oh, okay. And it made me hate it. Yeah. Like when I was doing it. So the fact that you were like, I'm gonna make you love music rather than like shoving music down your throat.
Well, see, I think schools. And I hope everybody hears this, like band, orchestra, and choir are awesome.
They are.
For their own reasons, right?
Yes.
And 15-20% of the school is going to be very into that. I'm more concerned about what about the other 80%? What are they doing? And so I want to create an avenue that kids who want to study music and do it on something that's a little bit more familiar to them, they can do that. In my opinion, you can teach dynamics and phrasing and articulation and all of these musical elements. It doesn't matter what style. So if I can meet the kid where they are and start to get them going. The other thing we found is people start going, hey, this area down here is not so scary. What else can I do down here? Oh, well, have you met the choir director yet? You got a nice voice. You might want to sing over there. And so there becomes this kind of like, it's a little more fluid. You know, the kids can move into other ensembles.
Not so cold and rigid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is, in my association, that's very much like what the classical training is. It's very cold, precise. It's almost surgical because like that's what it takes when you're performing in a symphony, so that you've got to be on it, but you're like, hey man, like what do you want to play? Like, I'll help. Like, and that's awesome. Like, I don't mean to like demean you by dumbing it down and simplifying it to that nature, but that's literally what it is. It's like, cool, yeah, welcome to this world of music. Like, how can I help wade you in even further? You know what I mean?
And I don't find that demeaning. Actually, I think that's awesome because I think that any educator can do it if you really want to. It's not that hard. It's not that scary. You empower kids to do the things that they're interested in, and like you're going to see a lot of success that way.
True. So, I will play devil's advocate though. Does not matter how cool, no matter how laid back you are, no matter what kind of snacks you provide, you're never going to help wade me into the world of mathematics. No teacher's going to get me like, listen, man. Numbers are cool. I'm like, listen, they are, and I recognize they're, and they make up everything. But I don't care. Like, I just like existing. Like,
well, wait.
I don't want to think about it.
Let me talk to you about the Pythagorean theorem.
You know what? Never mind. I'm in. No, you got me. I'm hooked.
Sold.
Alan, to an extent, numbers are a very important part in music.
Okay, so you're not wrong, and you might enjoy this. As a vocalist, I never had I had like formal trainings in like, the violin and stuff like that. But I never had any formal training when it came to music or like singing or anything. I was all self-taught for singing. I was the one that taught myself how to sing. I was the one that taught myself how to do the more aggressive screaming style vocals as well. And I never had any kind of music theory or anything. And I was very lucky because you're right. I mean, I did learn to recognize like measures and like certain time signatures, the very basics. But I was so lucky that my guitarist, and I make this joke all the time, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. What do you think about this? Okay, yeah, but what if you did it like this? And then this is where our magic happened. I'm like, yeah, what if you did it like, whatever, like just like for like whatever, and he's like, oh, you mean like and just nail every time. So I didn't have to learn his language. He understood my caveman Neanderthal music knowledge and was like, oh, okay, caveman want cool rhythm.
Right.
Got it. Like, and it worked. But you're right. Numbers are very important, but I was just very lucky that I didn't
You
have
were
to incorporate
correct, though. I mean, vocalists speak to the band in a very different way than the band speaks to each other.
Yes.
We think about things in choruses and in verses and
Bridges
and bridges, and we're like, all right, we're gonna come in on the second half of the chorus, and they're gonna go, where?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Or we'll say, oh, we're gonna come in on the lyrics that say this, and they're like, what does that mean?
Yeah. I wasn't listening.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
You're not wrong. Like we definitely we did have that with other members as well, where they're like, and I'm like, the beginning of the breakdown, and they're like, oh, okay, with the drum, like, I'm like, yeah, it's your favorite part because they're like, time to hit the china, like it's a time to murder that china. So, but you're right though, it's a completely different language, especially when you have someone that was like so rudimentally educated.
See,
as
I was
myself.
I was like right between you guys where I always played guitar and sang at the same time. So I was talking to myself in the back of my brain while singing, while playing guitar, like, all right, and then this chord, when we get back to that the second time, then you start singing again.
See, I could never do that.
That's how I did it. I don't know.
ADHD. That's why I was like, I can't. Give me microphone. Got it.
Yeah,
like I've got one thing to focus on. That's it.
That's fair. I mean, hey, everybody learns a little bit differently, and I think that's what you do great is like giving them that room to expand their knowledge on what they want to play. At the end of the day, music is art. Art is abstract, and you need to let them figure out where they want to be. And that's where we all started, I think. I mean, I started out on piano, hated it, then got into playing guitar, then the bass, then the banjo, then the ukulele, and the next thing I knew, I was playing all these different instruments. And it's just because you can't pigeonhole musicians.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the best things is like you said pigeonholed, but like the world wants to put artists in boxes. They want to say you fit here. And the last thing you should ever say to an artist is I fit here. Now it depends. If it's coming from a friend or like someone that you see as like a peer, maybe it might like, hey, I'm taking this as advice. But if it's someone that like we don't agree, like you definitely fit in this box. You're like, I'm gonna show you how I fit in so many other boxes.
So that kind of happened with me, like I started training classically. Like that was the thing to do. I started training classically. The first vocal coaches I had were they classically trained me.
Yeah. And I just want to clarify. I do think it does serve a purpose. I wish I would have done that.
It really does serve a purpose.
It does. It absolutely plays a role.
I'm not going to downplay it
Not
at all.
Not at all. I just never had the opportunity.
I took, I was classically trained all the way through college. And to be honest with you, I was in a band with Dan at the same time, I believe, or shortly after. And so like the strongest my vocals have ever been when I was training classically and singing pop music at the same time. But I did have a lot of vocal coaches along the way tell me, you can't do both. If you sing pop music, you're going to destroy your voice. And it wasn't till I met the right vocal coach that said, you can do whatever you want.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. It's acting. It's acting for your voice. That's essentially what it is.
It's 100%. Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. And so Heather Vidal, I don't know if anyone knows her. She was my vocal coach for years, and she's the one that actually presented to me, you can do whatever you want.
The name does sound familiar. Is she? And Heather, if you're watching this, I don't mean to be offensive. Is she a little older?
She's blonde hair. She's really into. She does the. Sorry, the. I'm trying to think of the word.
I know there's the one.
She's in Florida all the time doing the. What is
The thing.
Do it. The thing.
Doing the Jimmy Buffett thing.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's the one.
Like the
I
parrot
thought.
head
Parrot head stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it.
No.
Couldn't even think of it.
Okay, I thought you.
Which is
feeling
not
bad
my
'cause I
favorite. It's
couldn't
not my
help you.
favorite thing. So it
No, it's
stays
okay.
in the back of my head.
I thought you were coincidentally referencing. There's one vocal coach that's classically trained that she's like known throughout like the metal scene for like training all the screamers like the proper breathing techniques so that they can just keep performing. Like, you know, they go on tour for like 9 months performing every day and they never burn out their vocals.
Right.
And I believe her name is Heather as well. And I thought I was like, wow. I was like, you
Probably not
picked
the same,
one.
but
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned about being put in a box as an artist or as a musician, and it's funny because I think musicians do it to each other. Like when I first graduated from Lebanon Valley, I had a background in jazz studies, but I was playing in pop bands, and so when you would go to get a gig, there were people that would say like, plays in pop bands, like probably not the guy that we're looking for. But it would go the other way
not
too.
wrong.
You would try to play with a rock band, and they would go like, I don't know, man, he was playing jazz the other week, like, and so it was really hard to break some of those barriers down.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that definitely was a thing.
And do you think that's like more of like like the modern music community now? That's like, this is more of a recent thing in the last 20 years, or do you think this is just a development in local communities or music in general? What's your take on that?
I think we've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
I think
As a whole?
Yeah, and I think there's some things that have happened with technology that have changed things, probably not for the better. Like we're looking at artists are not getting paid probably what they're worth. Streaming is a great thing because you can reach a ton of people, and yet you're probably not going to make very much money on it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the top like 0.0001% that actually do well in that area. But the thing that I do like about it is I think people who listen to music, and specifically young people, they're more exposed to various types of music that they would have never have imagined before. And I think it's part of the reason why you're seeing stuff like, you're seeing music that's starting to become very, very timeless. And all of a sudden, 30 years after it hit the first time, it's hitting again and even bigger.
Yeah.
You know, you look at I'm just referencing it because it's huge in pop culture right now, but like everything that ends up on Stranger Things does really well.
Yeah.
Like Extreme.
Yep.
Everybody thought was more than words, and then all of a sudden they used the song "Play with Me" in the one episode, and streaming went up, and now all of a sudden their tours got bigger, and so I think I came through music when you start to like. I don't know how it worked with you guys, but for me, like when you first get exposed to music, it's the music of your parents or the people that are around you a lot.
Yes.
And at some point in time, for me, it was like third grade, riding the bus to school. I heard Bon Jovi for the first time, "Living on a Prayer," and I was like, "Whoa, what is this? This is cool, right?"
Yep.
And so like I lived through the era of like I watched the music that I was really into at the time, which was like the hair band stuff, get completely decimated by grunge music.
Yep.
And the music that you listened to was suddenly like very uncool. You can't talk to people about it. You don't let people know that you're listening to this type of music. And those artists probably suffered greatly career-wise.
Oh, sure,
And now on the back end of it, because everything is opened up, I see very little of that. This is really uncool. This is really uncool.
That was super big in the 90s where,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where it was like, that is so uncool to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, you're not listening to Nirvana? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like,
But I don't see, and I'll tell you, the barometer for me was last year at the CPMAs. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and I'm watching all of these different people from different styles of bands get called up to the stage for their award, and people being like genuinely excited, or people watching the Hall of Famers that were inducted in, and like these metal guys were like brought to tears by some of the performances.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And so I'm going, I think we as a community are starting to get much more accepting of various styles of music. And I think we're also starting to embrace like the idea of creating art that it's special and it's unique, and it doesn't have to be the thing that like really excites me, but it still has value.
100%.
You know?
I mean, I think And I'm just curious because like I want all of your guys' takes because we're all musicians, and I think Chris, especially behind the camera, he can agree to this. You're not wrong. I think though it's the reality behind that thought process, especially when you're first starting out, like you're writing original music. You're just getting your feet wet doing that, and you might be starting to get like a little bit of traction. You're almost like a creature of like your own habit, and you're like a victim of tunnel vision because you're like, I'm so focused on this is the sound that I'm looking for, and this is what I have in my mind that you have blinders on that you're like you can say like, oh well, I don't know, that guy was just playing jazz, like how could that? I don't know how that could affect it, but like now like because I can say back in the day like I'm looking for like the best. Like, how low can you tune your guitar and it still sounds clean? What's your intricacy like on your chugging patterns, like, or your strumming patterns? But like now that I'm, 36, I'm not in the scene anymore. What's crazy is like, well, you look at like bands like Dance Gavin Dance that have immense jazz influence. Like their guitarist who like what makes them known, like the funk that they have is, he's jazz. You have bands like Sleep Token. Their drummer is incredible because he comes from, he did a lot of warship style drum playing in the past, on top of a bunch of other things. And then if you'd have told me 10 years ago, the thing that metal is missing as an instrument is a saxophone, I'd have laughed at you. And now there's so many bands that are doing it, and it was the element that was missing from metal. Like it can make a metal song just sound that much richer and complex. And you're right, it just took someone being willing to be like, you played jazz on the saxophone? You want to throw down on this breakdown and see how it sounds? Yeah. And it worked. Well, you know what I mean?
And can we hook you up to distortion? Like that?
I'm going to do a whammy bar on you, okay? Let's see how this sounds.
I think to both of your guys' points, metal and people, wanting to experiment with different things. Look at Alexis on Fire and City in Color. Same vocalist, Alexis on Fire, if you're not familiar, very in your face, kind of like post-hardcore, metalcore band. Starts his own solo project back in 2006 called City in Color, and I think that's probably around the turn where it was like, okay, it's okay to do vast different things where it's metal in one, and then next thing you know, you have City in Color, which is this acoustic, high voice of an angel type, like melodic singing, and it's like, where did this come from? And I think you're kind of right to your point is like there was kind of a turn in the music community where people started to break out of those boxes and do different kinds of music and what really made them happy. And I personally love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I think we can definitely thank some of the trailblazers because I think what really did help this shift and this change is we have had very successful projects that are like very genre bending or genre blending, and it's like it can be done, and it's like now you can't say, well, you can't blend those things. It's like, oh really? Because you have very successful projects that are taking these influences from other things, and it's like, well, they're killing it. So
as musicians yourself as well, how many times have you written a song in your head and you have a sound for it, and once you finally start playing it, you're like, okay, like me personally, I 90% of the time anymore I'm listening to indie rock. Had the song in my head, I don't know, a month ago, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can make this into an indie rock song. Start playing it, turns into a folk bluegrass song, and I'm like, okay, no, I think I like this more.
Well, we started out writing together, but I did notice over the years when we haven't been writing together, and I've been writing on my own, I do tend to get the tunnel vision, and I will venture to say that I am a better writer when I have somebody else by my side. I tend to, they fill in the holes, they fill in the ideas, they expand things. I'm a huge advocate for having someone by your side, and so I'm actually I'm hoping we can write some more music soon. For sure.
Yeah.
Because I've got
very simply,
that
he's like, yeah, for sure.
Her writing is all over the 2 albums that I released as a solo artist.
Really?
And it was stuff that I unearthed from those early days where it was like, that was unfinished. I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah.
And
you
so
gotta love when you have some of those little treats, those little nuggets in the back that haven't been finished.
I've got a ton of those little treats.
It's all on my phone. You know what I mean? It's all
I've
there.
got a whole file for them, and I was going through them today going, gosh, this is a great verse, I need to finish the chorus, or gosh, this is a great chorus, I need to finish the verse on this. And it's like, so I've got a brain block on a lot of them.
Yeah, unless you're extremely talented, I will say, I can speak for myself, you can only be so creative when you're stuck in your own echo chamber.
Yeah.
You need that outside perspective, because I could be I mean, I can tell you there was plenty of times where I was like, I am confident. Like, no, this is what this needs to sound like. Like, for sure, no compromise.
Yeah.
And then my guitarist would be like, okay, cool. Yeah, man, I hear you. But like, humor me. Let me play it like this. Plays it. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess it was cool. I don't know. Like,
gun.
we can try throwing it in the final draft. I don't know. Fine, whatever. And you're like, yeah, you were right. Like 100%. Like, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Creative minds together always creates more.
The bands that I work in that are successful, and the students that I work with that become successful as a band, tend to develop the philosophy of there's no such thing as a bad idea at the beginning. So let's A-B everything. Like, you want to play it this way and you want to play it this way? Great, let's try them both. And then we'll all listen to it collectively and kind of weigh in on it and figure out what works.
That's genius, actually.
Because everybody still gets heard. Like, even if your idea wasn't the idea, everybody was willing to sit down and go, you know what?
And
Let's
that
give it a
idea that
try.
didn't get picked now might influence someone else's idea later on then because they got to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's genius, actually. Man, I need a better music teacher. I need a better peers.
I didn't have one. I just did it my own. And it would have definitely helped me to have someone like you. I mean,
Thank you.
of course.
Yeah, like I really like talking because you guys can see, not that to any of our previous guests, we love having all of you. And it's not to say that none of you guys are not passionate, but there's like something like real specific like going on here, like energy wise, like as like all creators that I'm like, I really dig like whatever vibe you guys give off.
I feel like we could all write music together.
Yeah, 100. Yeah,
All right,
dude,
go
I'd
get
be
the
down.
didgeridoo.
Go get it right now. But I do want to hit on because I find this very interesting. It's a very interesting piece of information. So you have founded award-winning wedding bands.
Yes.
So please, because like when I read that, the very first thing, not to go back to our previous conversations, was I thought of wedding singer without him saying that. I was like, I got to know more about this. I'm in.
But better.
But better.
Oh, okay. All right.
First of all, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's a very
by the
good
way.
movie.
I love that movie. I got into the corporate wedding band scene, oh gosh, probably about 15 years ago.
Okay.
It's always something I wanted to get into. I like kind of saw it from afar for a long time, and it was kind of like, how do I get into this world? And my husband's job kind of took us around the country for a while.
Okay.
I really got started in it when I moved to Dallas, Texas. And that I was thrown into I was thrown to the sharks.
Okay.
And the wedding scene there and the corporate scene there, it's something that I can't even explain to you. It's really hard to explain for someone that lives here and lives the central Pennsylvania or East Coast lifestyle of music, because it's so different. It is like it's like living in a mini Las Vegas, right?
Okay.
So you get into these wedding bands, and you are, as a vocalist or instrumentalist, you're like, here are your in-ears, here are the tracks you're playing to.
Oh, it's like cutthroat.
It is. Oh yeah, it's a whole pre-programmed show. The show's the same every night.
And it's like, show up, do your
Show
job, go home.
You don't have a set list though. There's no set list. They call it. You call it. You never know what you might have a list of 200 songs that you have to perform. You never know what they're going to call, right?
Whoa.
So when I was thrown into this world, I started kind of getting a little panicky, because I'm like,
Rightfully so.
I mean, I don't think my memory's great, but like, when someone's going, I need you to memorize these. No, granted, no music stands, no books. You can't have anything on the stage. Everything has to be up here. And so when I started that, I struggled at first, because I'm just like, oh my God, this world is so new to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a lot of anxiety over it. I finally just gave into it and ran with it. So that was my introduction in Dallas. And then I ended up doing the same thing. I moved to Chicago a few years later. And Chicago was vastly different. Chicago is more loosey-goosey. Chicago was more blues oriented, free
see that.
form.
Less country, more blues.
It didn't matter. It was very less about what you looked like. Dallas was like, you got to kind of look like a Barbie doll to be on stage. And so there was a lot of insecurities about looks, especially as a female, because the girls you're singing with had big fake hair, big fake you-know-whats, and
Cowboy boots and daisies.
Personalities, right?
I don't even think the personality.
Massive personalities.
Yes.
Yes,
And a great
so
smile.
there was a lot of anxieties around that when I lived in Dallas. So when I did move to Chicago, I was like, it was kind of a breath of fresh air, because it's like it was not about looks anymore necessarily, and it also was not about here's a pre-planned show that you have to be ready for at all the time. And then my husband got the opportunity to come back home here into central Pennsylvania. So when I was living in Chicago, I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own entertainment company. I'm going to do what I've been doing for the past several years. I worked for all men, no offense, men. But I thought, well, I'm going to start an entertainment business focusing on the wedding world. The thing is, who's usually hiring wedding bands? It's usually the brides.
Yeah.
And so they tend to
Happy
work,
wife, happy life. There's a reason why there's that saying.
They tend to work very well with females. Females tend to be more, receptive to their needs and wants. And so I moved back here and I started Robin Banks Entertainment. And we started initially with our initial first band.
Did you say Robin Banks?
Robin Banks.
Is that like a play on words?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I had to. All right.
Okay, I don't want to say it out loud, but I kind of do. But it's like, I don't know how many people in the wedding world are going to be.
You can just keep going.
But it's like a Robin Hood situation.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Yep. Say
I
less.
thought about for a long time to make a logo like that, but I did not.
Yep.
But our flagship band is Central City Orchestra, which is the first band I started. It's a 10-piece horn band. Probably some of your former guests have been in it. Logan Bedard is our drummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Love Logan.
Yeah, Logan's a great dude.
Killer.
Yeah.
Killer.
Oh yeah, he's very good.
Young and killer.
Yep.
He's an old soul, but he's the youngest guy I know with the oldest soul.
Yeah. Every time I see him and I end up talking for like 2 hours.
I know.
He
the greatest
can
guy.
converse,
Oh,
but I mean like in a good way. Like he's always got something to talk
Same,
about.
yeah, we're the same way. And I remember at the awards last year, he was there, and like Todd's like, "Come on, we gotta go."
Yeah.
He's like, "Wait, no, hold on, we're talking."
Yeah.
But anyways, you were
but
saying.
it's a 10-piece horn band. We have a 3-piece horn section. We've got a three-piece lead vocal section, 1 male, 2 females, and then the backing band. And that really picked up very quickly. It picked up so quickly the first year that I did it that I'm like, okay, well, I'm missing out on a price point I can't hit for clients. And I can't do it with the 10-piece band. So I need to figure out something else. So I ended up assembling a second band called Downtown Sound, and they are 7-piece wedding band minus the full horn section. They have a sax player. That is their.
Yep.
And of course, about 2 years after I formed that, then COVID hit.
You do. Yeah, COVID, man.
We know the vibes.
The old hot topic word button. Yeah. COVID.
COVID hit.
I do have one quick question. And
Yeah.
It's a stupid one. How often do you guys play Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr.?
Pretty much not at all.
Really?
No.
God, that is like, when I think about getting married, that's like the number one
Really?
song on my list.
Nah.
Yeah, right. That was a stupid question.
Just the
Dan.
two
No,
of
I'm
us.
just kidding.
You can ask me. You can ask me the heavy
Such
hitters
low-hanging
for weddings, and that's not one of them.
Really?
No.
That blows my freaking mind.
I'm blown away
That's
as well.
That's like a top 10
Yeah.
favorite song all time for me too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not a big one.
You'll catch me at my bonsai garden just jamming out to that song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
This is gonna make
I
me.
just got that picture in my head and it made me smile.
This is gonna make me feel better about my question though, because I thought I also had a stupid question. So knowing that you do all that and you've had the experience doing this, being up on the stage, now being the one behind the scene, running everything. When you see movies like where they have weddings, like whether it be like Step Brothers, like at the end or whatever, and you see like how they're doing it, are you one of those people? You're like, I would never. That's just that would
You
never
know
be
what's
done
funny?
like
I
that.
just watched Step Brothers yesterday.
Did you really?
I did. At
it's the Catalina wine mixer. 100%. Come on.
And it was the
Pow!
they had, what band was it? It was the Billy Joel band, and they did only music after.
Oh yeah, after like a certain date.
Certain time range. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
date
don't
range.
do Piano Man, you know.
He's like adamant about it.
Oh gosh, what was your question? I forgot.
Do you ever catch yourself like watching like movies or like seeing something like what has like to do with like weddings or like the wedding, and you're like, that is absolutely not how that works in the real world at all.
Yeah.
Step Brothers probably being one of them.
I mean, yeah. Even you look at Wedding Singer, and it's a lot of the similarities, but not really. Like they really take things to the extreme
100%,
on those. But I mean, yeah, there are things that we do. Like the thing about being in a corporate wedding band is that it's great money. It's really long hours. It's hard work. A lot of travel's involved.
Evenings and weekends.
Evenings, weekends, and to be honest with you, I'm still on the front line with the band. So I'm not only in the back end, but I'm also still performing. So it can be exhausting. It's like,
I could definitely believe that.
you know, like we have a wedding this weekend, and we're in DC, you know, and few weeks ago we were in Buffalo, New York for something like.
Yeah, that's some mileage.
Yeah,
in between.
yeah,
for
you know,
sure.
and so it's can be exhausting.
I believe it.
Gas expenses, tax write-off though.
Yeah.
So
True. The one,
Track that.
yeah, 100%. What is it? It's 65 cents a mile, right?
67.
I was close.
Did it today.
All right.
It's funny. She was talking about like the Dallas vibe of like you press the track and go, and you might not even know what song's coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 18, I started playing with Bobby Mercer's band, and so
Okay.
he was.
With Eric Koala?
Yeah, I was in a band with Eric Koala,
Okay.
and Dave Dahl was in that band with
Okay.
me, and it was funny. Bobby was out of the Canadian military, musically trained, went through the lounges of Vegas, had this background stationed out of Reading, and Bobby kind of had this knack of, he showed up to our college one night at a jazz rehearsal, and he handpicked 3 of the guys out that he liked, and I just happened to be the drummer in the band, and he pulled us over and he was like, hey, I was really interested in having you guys possibly play along with our band. Next thing I know, a couple weeks later, I show up to a gig, I'm up on the kit, and like from there on for the next like 2 years, it was just like, you know, get on a bus Thursday night, and you know, he had this old Greyhound that was converted, and you were always like scared to death that he was going to wreck the thing, but here I am.
Was he driving?
I was 18 years old playing the Charlotte Coliseum. We were
Yeah.
opening for the Reverend Jerry Falwell, and like at a NAFME convention or something, I split my hand open. There was blood all over my floor tom. Like it was a mess. But I remember like I was in the band with Eric. There was all these great young players in there, but it was like Bobby would step over. We played along to tracks. We played, but there were tracks, so there was never a live bass player, right?
Okay.
And there was always a click track that at 18, you think your time is good until you have to play along with tracks, and then you realize, oh, it might have wiggled a little bit, you know?
Yep.
But he wouldn't even call what the song was. He'd just go over and press play, and it would start up. So you had to like very quickly figure out, we're in this song.
It is an experience for anyone in the music business. I'm telling you, if you have not been in a situation like that, you have not felt on the spot before.
I never want to be in a situation like that, if I'm being honest.
But I'll tell you what it did. Pardon my French. It kicked my ass.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
But I became an ass kicker when I got in another band.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Like when I play drums now, I've had people say to me like, "You're this like, I like talking with you and it's fun and whatever." And like when we get playing and you sit behind a drum kit, you almost like make me do things. And I'm like, well, that's my job. Like here.
You're the foundation
groove,
of the
here's
band.
the tempo. Here's where we're at. You will, and I'm not budging, man. So here's where it's
That's
at.
the hardest job in the whole band.
100%.
But like, I don't think I would have been half the musician I became had I not gotten that. Like that was my musical boot camp.
Yeah.
You know, like you learned a lot.
You know, and being in the world that I'm in, I have a lot of people that knock on that all the time. Like, oh, you are in a... and I'm not going to say names, but there are people like, I don't want to hire you because you're a monkey suit band.
Wow.
You're a monkey suit band, and we're not going to hire you because of this. And I'm like, but you realize because we're a monkey suit band, like these are the best musicians in the region. Do you
Also,
understand this?
Here's
But,
my catalog of what I can play.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I
that's
mean,
just...
you know, like my sax player, Jay, who works in Central City Orchestra, you know, he used to tour with Whitney Houston. He used to tour with Steve Winwood. He is in a Snake video from the 80s. Like,
Wow.
he's got some, these guys have got some traction and some things under their belts. And
Impressive resumes.
people just think, I don't know what they think sometimes. Because we limit ourselves to what we do, and we do. I limit ourselves to what we do. Like, there are certain things I'm willing to do, and there are certain things I'm willing not to do. And because of that, I think people think a certain way sometimes. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you're snooty, or you're this, or you're that. And it's, no, I'm just really selective.
You also have to protect yourself. You know what I mean? Burnout's a very real thing as well.
You're also producing a product, and it
Yeah.
has to be a quality product.
Well, I mean, it's like, and if you put your product in a certain area that doesn't fit what you're trying to sell, it can hurt you.
It doesn't benefit anybody.
No.
No.
It doesn't benefit the people that you're performing for. It doesn't benefit, like, you know.
And so I say a lot. I say no a lot, and I think, you know.
Hey, sometimes it's a good position to be in, to be able to say no.
Yeah, it's a luxury that some people don't like having, but at the end of the day, it is still, I mean, take it from someone that serves in a certain capacity. I don't like to talk about it too much on air, but I don't really get a whole lot of wiggle room to say no. So the ability to be able to say no, I mean, yeah, I mean, even if I did have the ability, it's never really a comfortable thing to say half the time, but it is still.
Most of the time, it's like it's a financial decision. Like, I can't do that. I can't bring
Yeah.
you a 10-piece band for that. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mostly, it's that.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's pretty wild though that someone would like think like that. I'm sorry that you deal with it, because I mean, we can all tell sitting here that you guys are both wildly talented. And speaking of talent, you have both been very well educated. You guys have a lot of experience, both well traveled. Looking at all of your experiences, looking at everything that you've been through, and you come back to Central PA, and now we have something called the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame. What would you say, in your own words, through your own experiences, what would you say makes Central Pennsylvania music and like the music scene in Central Pennsylvania music so special?
I've been a fan since day
Answer
number
now.
one. I've been a fan since day number one of the CPMAs. Like I was there when the inception came about. Like, I've been there since, I think, the first year, I'm pretty sure. So I was very supportive of it from day number one. I thought this was something awesome to come about. But I will say this, you know, I started my business because I knew there were musicians here that had insane talent and had invested their time into their craft for years and years and years. And I wanted to create a business where I could get them jobs that got them quality pay. That is that is the whole reason for my being and the reason for my starting my company. And I knew we had those people here in Central Pennsylvania. And I wanted to prove that. And so that's why I started my business in the first place. But it's true. We've got such freaking amazing, talented people in Central Pennsylvania.
We do. I don't think people that don't write music, people that aren't that type of creative, I don't think they understand like how important it is. Like, I don't think you understand what goes into truly creating something original. Or even if it's not original, even if it's just being a performer, it takes blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice. And then they're like, cool, here's bottom dollar pay. And it's like, man, you wonder why more people don't want to pursue this path, because it's like, golly, it's like, yeah, I'm doing something that I love, but like, am I going to keep the lights on tonight? Who knows?
Exposure
Like,
doesn't pay the bills. You
No.
know, like it's, and that's great. Honestly, I love that. What you said is, you know, trying to make sure you can get quality musicians paid well. Like, because at the end of the day, like a lot of people who, and you know, I understand if you're not in the music industry, you don't understand how everything works, but a lot of people just go, well, it's your passion, so you should be happy to do it. It's like, okay, well, it's okay to have a passion, and it's very normal to have a mortgage. Like
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Those
Yeah.
two things don't
I
always
also
go hand
am
in
really
hand,
passionate about food and eating.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great that you took it upon yourself to care for the people of your community.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a hard road. Like there aren't a lot of, to be honest with you, aren't a lot of options to make that happen. And one of those avenues happens to be the corporate wedding world, which is the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And there probably are other avenues that I'm less familiar with, but that's the one that I know, and that's how I
seems
felt.
pretty cutthroat though. So I mean, that's a good market to have
It's
experience.
a good market. It's been a challenging market for the past several years. Things have been changing. Shopping trends have been changing. 2025 was honestly kind of a rough year.
Okay.
Just with people are holding back on spending. They're afraid about the economy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have changed this year that I've had to navigate myself around. And that's been since COVID, honestly. Things have just been gently changing every year, and so I find
Everything's different.
myself pivoting a little bit every year.
Just rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the same time, what you're doing too, like that's a lot of pressure. It's someone's big day, so everything's got to be perfect.
Yeah. Luckily, that's one of the things that I've kind of lightened up on over the years. Is I used to like lose sleep for like a month before I would do a wedding. You know what I mean? I've kind of loosened up on that, and that is one area. I might be anxious about a lot of other things in my life, but like showing up and doing a wedding, like I'm actually kind of chill. Like you
Good.
show up and I'm like, I'm ready to roll. Like you put me in
Let's do this thing.
I'm very comfortable in that scenario at this point in the game.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, that's an awesome answer. Appreciate that. How about
Dan,
you,
what
boss?
would your answer
Yeah.
be?
I mean, I
We're
was
dying to know.
I was born and raised in this area.
Yep.
And I went off to school at Lebanon Valley, but then spent a lot of time on the road at a pretty young age and playing in multiple bands. And I used to hear people like, I can't wait to get the heck out of here. After graduation, I'm gone. And it's just always been home to me. And that's not that any community doesn't have its struggles.
Sure, yeah.
But I've just always found I'm comfortable here. I've traveled, but I like home. And I'm slightly introverted, so like when I say I love home, like I love my home. Like I like being home. I'm good with that. Someone says like you don't have to go anywhere for a week. I'm like, great. That's
That's awesome.
that's super cool.
Yeah, I love this.
But one of the things that I really love about this community, I was a 13-year-old kid playing in my dad's band, making money when a lot of other people were, working at a golf course or delivering newspapers or whatever. And so one of the things that I really love about this area is I had opportunity. And some of that's drying up a little bit for young people, which is something I'm really passionate about, of how do we create new avenues for that. Because it used to be I was 13, I was playing in bars and no one said boo about it. They would bring me in the back door, and before anybody would say anything about it, they would shoo me out the back before the end of the night, and it was fine. You can't do that now.
No, God, no.
So, but I'm really thankful, like there was plenty of opportunities at the time, and I was always thankful for the older musicians who could see either the talent or where you could potentially be going, and then they would pour into that. So like some of the greatest music lessons I got, this guy, Dave Winter.
Okay.
Dave
yep.
Winter would like, he'd be like, I was kind of strumming along guitar in my dad's band while Dave's like holding down everything, and he would look over at me and he'd go, "Hey, can I show you how to play that chord better? Like, can I show you another way how to do that?" And it was never like a, "You suck, you played it wrong." It was like this gentle, like, "Hey, I
wanna
believe
help
in
you."
you.
Yeah.
I think you can be even better." And so there was a lot of people in this area that just poured into me. And I think that's something that's really special. I don't know that that's everywhere else. I think sometimes the area can be cutthroat, but it's also super supportive. I noticed the community, like, especially lately, really lifts other musicians up.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've always just really loved about it.
One thing I can say, I think, because you're right, like sometimes it can be really cutthroat, other times it can be really supportive. I think what I've noticed recently in like the music scene in the local area is like, if you're actually passionate, doesn't actually matter about like what your actual talent level is yet. It's just, are you actually passionate about doing this? It seems to be a lot more supportive. But when you have people doing it for just like just to have like skin in the game, like, or like the kids like to say, for clout, like they're just doing it for that, people are like, yeah, you're not really about this. And I think people are getting more comfortable, like kind of calling BS on people like that. I've seen it a couple times here on like social media, but with that though, like, and like with like how everything's changing and the way you said, you know, some of these opportunities might be drying up. My final question that I had, and I think this is a pretty important one, I hope I don't steal anything from you, but being in education and being like a coach and having all these experiences, everything, with this younger generation and the booming of AI and how this is injecting itself into every single establishment and industry, what advice would you give, especially as educators and coaches, to younger people that are like, I still want to write original music? Like, how would you help them navigate this new world, this new frontier?
Well,
I've got very different opinions on it. So
okay.
I would say anytime technology has made a leap, right, there's always this like immediate reaction of like, this thing's terrible, this thing's bad. People gravitate towards it. I think at some point in time, my guess is it's going to kind of level out a little bit. And I think if you listen to some of the AI generated stuff, and I hear musicians like some of like Steve Lukather is one of my favorite musicians of all time. He's the guitarist in Toto, and he played on all of those records in the 80s. And
okay.
he was on an interview the other day, and he basically said, like, it's soulless music. Like, you listen to the AI music as it's generated, and he goes, you can hear right through it. It's crystal clear. It doesn't have any of the emotion. And so I've noticed that when I hear stuff, I go like, like this is auto-tuned to the hilt where like it's not even believable.
Yeah.
You know? So, but I will say this. I have, in experimenting with it, because I know my kids are exposed to it, you want to talk about an instant songwriting partner when you can't come up with one line?
Yeah.
And you go, I've got 85% of the song now, and I need something that goes here. Give me 20 options. I don't steal directly from it, but what I'll do is I'll take it, and that's the thing that gets my brain going.
Yeah.
It's almost like working sometimes with a co-writer,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, here's 15 ideas, and their feelings can't get hurt. When you go, I don't like any of those, do it again. You know?
Redo.
Yeah.
let me tell you what I've been doing for the past 4 hours before I got here.
Okay.
And I was going through my arsenal of all my old songwriting pieces that like maybe I had, you know, I had all the verses for, or maybe I had the choruses for, I had the instrumental pieces for, and the things were incomplete. So I said today, I'm going to try this app and see like if it gives me any ideas. And so I loaded all of my ideas into this app, and it was pretty phenomenal.
Really?
Of just, you know, it gives you a clear idea of like where this could go, and it gives you different options. Like, well, it could feel this way, or it could feel this way.
It brings you to the right knob, and now it's up to you to
kind
define
of like
a
having
fine
that
tune.
writing partner, like, or that guitarist or that drummer going, let's try this rhythm.
Okay.
And so I was just playing around with it. I also today started pulling in some songs I wrote from the 90s.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Where I had fully recorded them in an analog studio to tape, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
wow, okay.
With a, you know,
For you younger viewers, that's cassette tape.
so
Well, they're going to learn all about that in
that
one of
came in
our
little
other
plastic
interviews.
cases.
so I pulled all these old songs and gone, I wonder what it would sound like if I threw this into AI and see what it did with it. Just out of fun. And I threw it in, and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. And so I shared it with my former bandmates,
Yeah.
you know, because I've been in a band scenario since I was like 15 years old. So it's
It's a way of life.
it's my way of life. And so I sent it to all my bandmates going, do you want to get in a band again? You want to start the band again and write some music? Because look what it sounds like. And it's interesting. I don't want it. For me at least, I see it as a way to expand my ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
I think
Took
everything.
the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to use it as a tool. And I think kind of like what you were saying, like with any new technology that comes out in music, it always kind of gets like a knee-jerk reaction where it's like when auto-tune first came out, everyone's like, oh, there's going to be no good singers anymore. We still have good singers, you know.
And now you can count on like one hand the amount of people that don't get tuned up in the studio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's true. But at the same time, though, it's not all auto-tune. And I don't think all music is going to shift to just AI. I've been wrong about things in the past, but at the same time, it's like we should look at it as a good thing until we can't, in my opinion, with AI.
Sure.
I do agree with you guys because I've done it as well. I've used it as a tool. So and I do hope that's where it stays. I hope there's some legislation that comes down that dictates and kind of keeps it there, because I mean, at the end of the day, if there's no guardrails set in place, when you have a music industry that's ran like a business, when you can cut out crew expense, like all of that thing, guess what? I mean, you quadrupled my profits.
I was thinking that on the way here. I'm like, if you're going to be submitting a song for a shopping campaign for something, I really feel like you need to give them the here are my raw recording files.
Yeah. I watched a video yesterday where I can't remember his name, but he was talking about AI and how quickly it's developing, and he said it's getting to the point. He said I would not be surprised. He's like I'm dead serious. He's like, give it 5 years. He's like, AI can kill Hollywood, all of it. He's like, all of that expense, everything, every expense that you have to hire the lighting, you have to hire this, you have to do this. He said it's getting to the point. He said you can type on your phone and you can say, oh, you know what? I didn't like the ending of that Marvel movie. Give me this ending. He said, takes 5 minutes. Now you have a new ending of that Marvel movie. He's like, let's go one step further. He's like, I have this idea for a movie and I want to see it made. He's like, cool. I don't have to wait for it to be pitched by someone else that's in the idea or in the business, in the industry, wait 6 years for it to be shot, produced, released. He said, you can put it in there. He's like, and in 10 minutes, I have my own personal movie. He's like, I can create my own media. And I'm just like, that is terrifying almost, bonkers, like, man. Honestly.
I mean, there's people already making money. They're having AI write books, like children's books, and they're like selling thousands of copies on Amazon, making a ton of money doing it.
How hard is it to make it? Write a children's book.
I know, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm dyslexic.
That's the best response. He's like, I'm dyslexic.
It's like, very hard for me.
He's like this I before the E. Like,
I mean, with the technology out there, if you want to get into writing, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
These days.
Hardest thing for me would be like write the or create the image that goes along with the caterpillar crawling on the leaf.
Yes.
You know?
But I mean, I do hope it does stay as a tool, though.
Yeah. No offense to children's book writers, because I have many friends that are children's book writers, but they didn't use AI to do it.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Agreed.
Once again, so Katie uses it as a tool. Like, I'm working on a book right now, not to talk about myself, but there's definitely times where I've been like, AI, put this scene into a picture so that way I can envision it better when I'm writing it. And I've used it for that in my writing. So.
I use it for a lot of things in my life, like reorganize this thought that I have and make it make more sense to me. And then it reorganizes it in a structure that makes sense. And you're like,
sit right there. There's two polar, me and you are kind of like similar, but like the way you said you prompted AI to help get you going, you prompted it the exact opposite way.
That we
would have 100%. Like, you're like, oh, here's the thing that I have written, generate it into an image so I can view it better and think about it and then write it better. Whereas I would be like, hey, I have this scenario already written out. Can you just elaborate on this written out scenario? And then I'm going to fine tune it.
Yeah.
I don't need the visual at all. I just need that's crazy.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's how our brains function too.
And someone turned that into a microchip. That's crazy. All those differences, all those things. But honestly, it was such a pleasure talking with you guys this evening. And I really appreciate you guys taking out time to come out here.
It's over already?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We've been talking for over an hour already.
No.
Honestly, I could go for like another 2.
100%. I could. Time goes by when you're having fun, man.
Yeah,
it really does.
We'll do round 2. It'll be good.
Well done. That was perfect. In perfect sync.
Oh my God. Sorry. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For your time this evening. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Before we let you guys go, is there anything coming up, anything important going on in your guys' lives that you guys want to do a shout out for and let people know?
Well, I just wrapped up a huge Christmas show this year at the Valencia Ballroom in York.
Yeah.
Called thank you, Valencia Wonderland. It's a holiday music experience. I wanted to create a New York style city Christmas show right here in York County, and it took me quite a few months to pull this show off, and we sold out.
That's awesome.
First year.
first year.
People were hungry.
Yeah,
for
but
it,
I
man.
was stressing big time.
Were you not sleeping for like the month prior to the?
Pretty much.
Yep, okay.
You know, driving my whole family crazy, driving my friends crazy, driving the band crazy. But it was a very successful event. We fully intend to do it again and make it a recurring event.
Okay.
So
Definitely want to check this out next year.
Yeah.
it's a big thing for the York County tourism scene. You know, we're bringing in outsiders into York County. We partnered with the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame, so they were our partners on that. But you know, we bring artists in from all over Central PA to be our guests. Central City Orchestra is the backing band with a full string section, so it's very much like a, you know.
You've got that rich, full sound.
It was a
to
Trans-Siberian Orchestra
That's
sound meets Mariah Carey. We did big band, Bing Crosby stuff. I mean, we just did
Yes, I'm in.
a holiday variety show. Turned out great, but what I wanted to express is that we have full intentions to doing it again. We have full intentions of growing the show, making it bigger, adding a second date. And so I am looking for sponsors. I'm looking for people that want to participate or help out in any fashion, whether it be, you know, donating services or donating whatever.
Absolutely.
I would love people to reach out to me because we would like to grow this and make it.
How can they get in contact with you?
You can reach out to me at on our website, rbelive.com. Or you can reach out to me directly at Katie, Katie, at rbelive.com.
And we will put those contacts in the description beneath this video.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. For me, I got some. The CPMAs is going to be a really fun night for me.
Yes, absolutely.
The band that I work with at Spring Grove was nominated for Youth Band of the Year, which was really cool. And
Dude, Wombo Combo.
Two of my singers are up for Youth Artist of the Year.
Right.
So like I'm gonna be like proud papa that night. Plus, they're gonna be in the audience when I get the Educator of Note presented to me. So it's like how cool could this
Full
be?
circle. Dude.
Yeah.
Full circle.
We're hosting the District 7 Modern Band Festival, which is a PMEA sanctioned event. We audition all these great young pop, rock, metal, rap artists, and then put together 5 small bands. And over the course of 2 days, they learn about a 25-minute set. They go out on stage and perform it in front of an audience.
2 days?
Festival.
A 25-minute set?
And they're killer. Oh my God. They're killer.
That's impressive. I couldn't even do that. You said you got 2 days, make 25 minutes. I'm like, I'm sad, but I'm not that sad. I don't have that much material.
But they're amazing. So they'll work for like 12 hours straight, like an 8 a.m. to an 8 p.m. Wow. They come back the next day at like a 8, 9 a.m. and the concert's at 3 o'clock. And they're killer. They're super fun.
That's awesome.
Some of the nicest kids I've met. So that'll be April 11th at Spring Grove High School.
Okay.
3 p.m. show. Going to be an absolute blast.
Awesome, dude. I mean, if I can make it, I might swing out for that. But I know I will definitely see you guys at the CPMAs.
For sure.
I look forward to hearing your keynote speech. I look forward to seeing all the emotions, the full circle emotions. But yeah, we'll definitely see you guys out there on the red carpet and all that. But guys, until then, thank you again so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
for all of you watching at home, thanks for tuning in.
See you
Until next time.
Bye.